Welcome back. We have Mitchell Forgy joining us to round out our Friday midday from Redbeard Roasters. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I haven't had a lot of sleep. I don't know what else to blame it on. It's Redbeard Roasters. I've done this a few times, though. It's good to see you.
I know, but we're going to sell roosters one day.
Just for me, hey? Just for me.
Not just for you. For the delivery people, for the telemarketers. You know, they're all going to be interested in Redbeard Roosters.
Oh, it's Redbeard Roasters. I'm going to... anyway, how are you? How's your Friday going? Good?
Oh, it's been beautiful.
Yeah.
I just was on a little trip to India, and I just got back. Yeah.
That's right. You were telling me about that. How was it?
Oh, incredible. The food in the country is just beautiful. It's 35 degrees.
Really? You guys have sort of some Indian-inspired dishes at Redbeard from what I remember when we came down there for Perfect Pairings. Do you think you'll be throwing in a couple of elements coming up now after your
absolutely. Yeah. And we're actually starting a dinner menu this weekend. So that's kind of a new thing that we're kind of... we're starting to try to get set up, I guess, for catering to nighttime business a little bit more. I mean, we are open till 10 p.m. and midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. But I think a lot of people don't think of us for dinner yet. So we have a lot of people coming in for drinks, for coffees, for teas at all hours, that sort of thing.
Good.
But I think that now we'll be able to push the food aspect of dinner time a little bit more.
What do you think is the biggest misconception of India after being there? Because I've not been there, but all I can think about is the massive amount of people that live there, how busy it is, how many people. What is the biggest misconception?
Oh,
Is all of that? Is it all of that or no?
You know, well, I mean, so many people that since I've got back have asked me about the Russell Peters thing where he says you land at Delhi airport and the smell just hits you. And it doesn't. It smells like Hawaii. Like, it smells like a tropical climate.
Really?
Like, you know, I mean, there are areas of the city where they don't really have functioning, you know, sewer systems. So, you know, there are areas that, you know, are less great than others. But I mean, especially in the major cities like Delhi and Jaipur and things like that, I mean, you wouldn't, you know, it's just like any other major city in a really populated part of the world. I think that I think that probably the biggest misconception is that people think that it's chaos, and it's not.
It's not.
Their social contract is just completely different than ours.
Right.
You know, where we're like the hold the door open for people, I'm sorry, you know, take 10 minutes to say goodbye because, you know, you say goodbye at the door, and then, you know, you go out to say goodbye from the door, but then you walk up to the car as they go to drive away, and you say goodbye again, and then you wave down. You know, they're the opposite of that.
They're more to the point. Interesting.
You know, and I mean, the idea that, you know, you might think that you'd get jostled in it or whatever. I mean, people don't have time for you, you know? Like, they're busy doing their things.
Interesting.
And yeah, so anyway, it was a fantastic time. It's just too bad it's so far away.
I know, isn't that the truth? I don't want to run out of time. We have some beautiful beer here that we're going to be trying. Is this beer too, or is it just us?
Both, yeah.
Great, let's give them a go.
So, Blackberry Porter, this is kind of the last for the season. It was a super popular summer beer that we had on tap. And we're just kind of wrapping up the end of it. They don't produce this in the winter, and so this is kind of like the last batch.
Okay.
It's kind of a dark beer, though, and so traditionally a lot of people think of that for winter. But because it is light in flavor and it has that fruity element to it, it's really quite easy to drink. So I'll give you a little bit here. And interestingly, right before this, we were talking
That's lots.
about...
Thank you. I won't be drinking all of this, just for the record.
I just want to get the, you know, the nice color and all those things.
It looks like a dark beer, very dark. Cheers.
Cheers.
I don't want to run out of time here.
Happy Friday.
It's nice. It's a dark beer, but it's got that uplifting fruit tone.
Yeah.
Blackberry.
And people often say, like, oh, like Guinness, it's a meal in a can or whatever, and then they blanket all dark beers must just, you know, clearly be this heavy,
and it's
you
not.
know, and it's not at all. And I mean, realistically, when you're talking about beer and the way beer is made, it's basically a tea that's just made out of grain and then fermented. And so the amount of kind of heavy tannins that you extract from that tea can be different regardless of the color, because all the color is an indication of how dark the wheat or the malt was when you made the tea out of it.
Okay, let's try this one quickly. We only have about a minute. We'll pull this out of the way. I know, isn't that terrible? We talked about India for 2 minutes, maybe. I don't know.
This is actually the Tourism India segment, and
that's right.
You know, I'm getting a little bit of a kickback, so you know, I'm okay with it. So this one is, again, I've brought McKellar on the show before, probably because they are one of my favorite breweries in the whole world. They operate on this principle, which I've talked a little bit about before, which is gypsy brewing.
Gypsy brewing.
So they come up with a beer, and they like whatever they're doing. Then they send it off to a bigger brewery to make, rather than trying to make it all themselves in-house. And so they operate with about 8 different breweries worldwide, and they produce like 300 different beers now.
Wow.
But they're all good, I think. So anyways, this is called It's Alive, which refers to the fact that it's fermented like a wine.
Look at the color.
So it has a spontaneous fermentation, which is actually becoming quite popular in the Okanagan wine scene right now as well.
We have to have a quick sip of this. We have about a minute.
Cheers.
So. That's delicious.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It's like I talked to you about before. The sour beers have been a real hit with females, and this is one of those slightly sour beers.
Love it.
Ladies love it. And
excellent.
yeah, so this bottle in our store I think goes for about $20. But I mean, it's a bottle of wine. It's high alcohol. It's aromatic. It's great.
Puts you to sleep, which is where I'm going to go fairly quickly now. But thank you for being here today. Redbeard Roasters open now until midnight on Friday and Saturday.